Alright, what's going on, everybody? I'm back and I'm still doing concept art for environments. Still messing around and trying to get a feel for how I want everything to look. It's starting to, I guess everything's really starting to click with the look of my comic. Now that I have an idea of what some of these environments are looking like, I think I have a handle now on the feel and look that I'm truly going for my comic. I think everything's just sort of piecing itself together now is what I'm trying to get at. Whereas for a long time, I had a lot of question marks, but now that I'm actually like making the art, I feel a lot more comfortable now and things are starting to add up. And I'm starting to get a lot more excited for working on the comic too. Now, that being said, I'm still sort of skeptical as to whether or not I'm honestly going to be at the stage to where I'm making pages by July 1st. Like I said, I would like to at least have the cover or page 1 completed by that date, but we'll see. Because while I am in a groove right now, there are a lot of environments that I need to work on. And I wasn't working optimally, to be quite honest, which I guess there was a reason why I chose the environments that I started off with. But I just got in the mindset that I really need to do the environments that I need for the beginning of the story. That way I can get moving faster. Like I said, I'm not trying to rush this, but I do need to prioritize the things that I'm going to need first before working on all the extra stuff. So this is actually an environment that I need pretty early in the story, the one that you can see in this video. And I'm actually going to have to do 2 versions of this environment, which is another reason why this is going to take a while. Because I'm going to need to know what some of these environments look like during the day and the night. And I know it seems like I'm being very extra with my environments. If you're new to my channel, I preach this all the time. When I make my comics, I actually make as many of the environments that I'm going to need in my story, or at least early chapters or whatever, ahead of time, so I get like the look and feel of them. And I'm a big proponent or a fan of working smarter and not necessarily harder. So if there are instances in the comic where you're showing an environment from the same angle more than once, reuse the same artwork instead of trying to draw the exact same visuals every single time you need to throughout the duration of a story. I understand that there's some people that view that as, taking shortcuts with your artwork or not being authentic. Never mind any of that sort of thought process. The goal first and foremost is the artwork, but it's also the story, and for you personally, it should be getting the comics completed. And to be able to do that as efficiently as possible should be the goal. You shouldn't make work harder on yourself for the sake of making it harder, is basically what I'm getting at. So though for this particular comic, I don't know how many times I'll actually be able to use some of these environments in the angles that they're at. Like this one that's on the screen, I don't think I'll be showing this environment from this angle. I just needed a blueprint as to how it's going to look. But who knows? I don't know whether or not I'll need it or not. So this could potentially serve many purposes other than just letting me know how I want things to look. Yeah, this is an environment that I'm going to need in the beginning of my story. So I'm kind of spoiling things for anybody that may want to read my story down the line, but it's not that big of an issue. But like I said, this is one of the first environments that you'll see in the story. So I kind of need to get this one done now. And I'm just going to try to work in order of the environments in the order that they appear. So trying to get a little smarter about doing this, because I wasn't for the last couple of months. Now, like I said, it's going to be July 1st in a couple of weeks, so I need to get on the ball. It's kind of crunch time for me right now. Well, no, it isn't, because I don't plan on actually releasing the comic anytime soon. But I would like to make this deadline that I set out for myself. So we shall see. As far as this specific environment that's on the screen, though, I drew this a tad bit different. Well, I did this in sort of the same fashion that I did all my environments in Infinite Uppercut, with the exception that the line art is still present. I didn't really showcase the line art in the environments in Infinite Uppercut when I was working on it. So I'm going to do this time with the comic I'm working on now. Hopefully it'll look a lot more uniform with the way the characters look. because while I like the environments of Infinite Uppercut, I don't know really if the way I drew the characters being so different from how I drew the environments was a clash, or whether it helped that particular story. I think for Uppercut, it doesn't hurt it that much just because the nature of the story itself and the feel of it. But I don't think I'd be able to get away with that with this story. So I'm trying not to have anything visually jarring in my artwork that's not supposed to be, as best I can, at least. But in a nutshell, I basically kept the line art in the environment, and I treated this like a painting, or like I normally would a painting. Then the other issue was just trying to figure out a color scheme, because it didn't dawn on me until actually painting this environment that I had no idea how I was going to color anything. I just knew what ideas I had for the environment and what things that I wanted to pull off. Obviously, if you've read or seen my work on Infinite Uppercut, you know that I'm a big fan of putting neon lights in my environments everywhere, so I knew I was going to do that at some point, but I didn't know where or what colors that I wanted to have outside of the big thunderbolts that's in the environment, almost like the gigantic thunderbolt statues. I knew I wanted them there. I didn't necessarily have anything else planned, so that was sort of on the fly. But it ended up working out in the long run. Considering that, yeah, like I said, I had no plans for a color scheme or anything like that as I was working on this. And then I also decided on the fly to sort of do this at night. I'll redo the same environment in the daylight and see how that sort of comes out, which it should be easier. At least I hope. We'll see. But yeah, I have about 12 more of these to go, at least that I know of at the moment. I should be able to get these done, or at least get enough of them done to be able to start making pages of my comic. So we'll see how this goes in the coming weeks. Like I say, I think I'll be fine. I think I'll still be able to hit my deadline, no problem. Or I shouldn't say no problem, but all things considered, I should be able to make it. But all things considered, I'm going to end this video now. Like and subscribe if you haven't to the channel, and like the video, of course, all that good stuff. And if you don't mind, go ahead and look in the links below for my webcomic Infinite Uppercut, whether or not you want to support me by paying for PDFs, buying actual physical copies, or just reading the comic on Webtoon and Tapas for free. No matter what you decide to do, it's all appreciated. But if you could check that out, it would mean a lot to me. And you all have a good one, and I'm out.